Recording stuff doesn't necessarily go bad. Like the mic I'm using apparently is what Michael Jackson did Thriller on. It's like everyone says that about the shirt.
That's
So it's
why
not
you
like
sound
it's
so good.
that's why it sounds so good, dude. You see? I'm not gonna say dope shit like you will, but I do sound good. I do sound
You
good.
sound good.
I sound good. Hi, I'm Topaz Adizes. And I'm the founder of the Emmy Award-winning series, The End. The End has been an incredible journey for the past 12 years. We've brought in over 1,250 pairs to have incredible conversations. Through this work, I've had the privilege of witnessing the bold and the beautiful and the heart-wrenching, the conversations that reveal us. And what I've learned through these incredible experiences is that life shapes us. Now I'm ready to share these learnings and reflections here with you to dive deeper. We're going to be speaking to people I find incredible. I'm going to be asking them questions that reveal their life's journey. On today's episode, we have my very good friend Didier Sylvain, a coach and a creative practitioner who moves at the intersection of personal liberation and collective transformation. He has guided executives and teams inside organizations like Lionsgate, WME, and the NBA Foundation. He draws on a background that spans Deloitte consulting, universal level teaching, and a deep lineage of embodied practice. His work blends somatics, use of sound healing, and systems thinking into a practice that is both introspective and profoundly communal. His through line is simple and unwavering. Leadership becomes powerful the moment it becomes aligned with one's values, one's vision, and one's humanity. I'm so honored and excited to share this conversation with my very good friend, Didier Sylvain. Thank you. Slaughterhouse-Five, Kurt Vonnegut. He says, time is like a mountain range. If you're climbing on the edge of the mountain range, you feel like one step is then the next and the next. But if you're far away from the mountain range looking at it, you realize that it's already happened and you're seeing it. So we're living life and it's happening now, and then the next tomorrow is tomorrow, and and yesterday was yesterday. But actually time is it's all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want us to step into a pause, a little lunch in the park, and look at that mountain range of your life and just talk about it. And talk about what are the moments that alchemy that happened between your being and the universe that shaped the gifts that you can now offer others.
Can you remind me the quote again that echoes what you said around discovering the gift that's meant to be given? Like
it's
life
like the purpose of life is to find your gift. The work of life is to develop your gift, and the meaning of life is to give it away. That's so good.
Like, and then never, like you've said it maybe 5 times. I've heard you say maybe 5 times. Each time it like washes over me like a balm. It's so beautiful. And so that feels consistent with what you're saying here.
Yeah.
And I love that's what you're after. I'm after the same thing. Yeah. We have similar missions in that regard.
First question I have for you. When I ask in the questionnaire, what things are obvious to you that don't seem to be obvious to others? People are most alive when they create from their soul. They are least alive when they hide from their soul. So what does that mean to you? What do you mean by that when you say that? Well, how is that obvious to you?
It's obvious to me because I feel different when I'm sensing a spark of life or joie de vivre, or kind of like a vitality that flows through me when I'm just like, oh, life, I'm alive right now. It feels like a soulful presence. So I feel a sense of soulful presence in my being. So I'm just like, okay, we have language for that. I'll say soul for lack of a better term. And I'm not always present to it. Like I'm not always hip to it. Like I'm also doing my dances and rackets and charades and games of the egoic, self-protection, that feels different. It's like, feels very different. So yeah, I say it's obvious because I think every human, I believe, as an assertion, every human has soulful experience. And
wait, can have or is a soulful experience? Or what?
I imagine that everyone's had a sense of feeling alive in a way that feels like it's animated by something beyond their human skin.
And is that the best place to create from?
What's the best place to create? I don't know what the best places to create from is. I don't know that there is a best place to
Uh-huh.
create from. But I do believe that a fun, dynamic, glorious, like expansive place to create from is um, one where my channel, so to speak, is relatively clear, like, and I'm flowing with what wants to emerge, and I'm not calculating or controlling or performing. I'm being present. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's the
Yeah.
best place to create from, but it feels preferable.
What do you tell the friends that really know who you are? What it is that you really do?
It's actually pretty consistent with what I tell people I'm meeting for the first time, which is that I create and hold transformative, playful learning experiences for people to fully inhabit their gifts and their power and steward it in service of the collective good as an offering. And it looks like coaching and training and speaking and writing and game design and ways that I'm continuing to discover. Yeah, I mean, so I say something like that to folks I just meet, and it feels true. If there's something that might, like, if there's any extra spice or something else that I might say to a friend, it might be, and I want to make it as musical as possible.
Mm.
I want to make the experiences that I co-lead and co-create and facilitate to be as musical as possible, to feel as beautiful as possible, for folks to get a sense of the beauty of their life, to fall in love with the beauty of their life. Like, yes, that's what I mean when I say musical, in a way.
Mm. Like in a whisper, like if you were, you show me a coaching weekend or Dopeness Dojo or one of your executive coaching weekend seminars that you run with a team. And like on the surface, I'd see like, oh, this is what's happening. But since we're good friends, or to your very good friend, you whisper in his ear, you go, but what's really happening is this. For instance, like when I'm doing the AMP, people are like, oh, it's two people talking and they're feeling better about the relationship. But if you're sitting next to me and you're watching that, I'm like, they're unraveling right now. They might not be talking about the unraveling, but they're feeling it. They're like feeling their heart that they haven't touched in a while because they have the space to do it. And they're being led to the journey of their heart through the questions, the heartstrings, that's what's happening. What is happening when you do your work?
Yeah, one that's beautiful. One reason why I'm excited about what we're building and what we will build is because after the unravel is the coalescing and the kind of congealing of a whole truth, a whole sense of the truth of who they are. Like, what's really happening in the work that I do is people are moving from who they think they are supposed to be to who they truly are. It's a movement from a story to a truth, and it's like a homecoming. It's like a process of integration where where your like perceived fragmented parts of self, there's like, it's all here, it's all present. So after, I would say, yeah, it's kind of homecoming.
How do you know when that happens? How
I
do you
don't
know
know.
that?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like, this is language that I've received from folks who've experienced some of my work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not the arbiter or judge of someone's wholeness or development or growth or transformation or none of that. But I can create conditions for something to happen and hope, But the best way I could know is if you or whoever I'm working with or being present to shares with me what they stand for, what they actually want to create in the world, what they envision for the world. If I know that you stand for peace or justice or love or whatnot, and I ask you, okay, what does that look like? How will I know?
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like for you? How is it measurable or observable? So I can ask folks to give me clues about what they want to see. And then my question to them or to me, all of us, is just like, is how I'm being in this moment, is how you're being in this moment, is it serving your vision or not? Is it honoring what you claim to stand for or not in this moment? And if so, awesome. And if not, great. You get to go again.
What do you think are the moments that like directed you in this direction? What were the turning points in the river, the bends in the river that ultimately brought you to where you are now? You know, which you're still in the river, but like where you're at now.
I mean, there are tons, bro.
Yeah.
But what comes up in this moment is the first time I was invited to consider that development as a human gets like to happen all the time. Like it doesn't stop. And Gertie O'Leary was the trainer that I had, my first leadership trainer in this program I did, Coro. Um, and she just normalized that just in her way of being and constantly inviting us to think in the language of questions, which you appreciate, and cultivating a capacity to just live in inquiry. And so just experiencing her like definitely catalyzed something.
When you were
um
what? How long? A
23.
while. Mm-hmm.
um and then working with an amazing human and leadership trainer named Xander Grashow, or Alexander Grashow, one of the co-founders of the Adaptive Leadership World work. And he invited me to work with him, apprentice with him for, um, what turned out to be a couple of years. And that really inspired and sparked a sense of confidence for me to take risks um, and yeah, just practice more of creating and holding learning spaces. And so just the more I did it, the more uh, confident I ended up feeling, and inspired I ended up feeling to do it some more.
Why were you led in that direction to begin with, you think?
In 2016, I was going through what folks call a dark night moment, a kind of rock bottom moment. I gone through a end of a relationship. I was feeling lost in this grad program I was doing that I had some like sincere like interest in, and also I was not feeling grounded or guided at all, really, in a way that felt sincere or true. And so I felt lost. And I literally got a call from Xander, and he invited me to work with him. What was happening at that same time was I was doing a lot of uh, just soul excavation, and it was a very inward period. And I felt very prayerful in that moment. Like it felt like one of the moments in my life when I felt most in dialogue with spirit, most in dialogue with universe, with ancestors, and
Mm.
like welcoming support. Like I accept the universe's help in unfolding my life. I accept spirit's help in unfolding my life. I accept creator's help in unfolding my life. Uh and that seemed to do something too. I'm not saying it I know what it did, like in any type of A to B way, but like that's what was happening. And all the practices I was doing, from the drawing to the journaling to the drumming to the community circles, and working with flower essences and entheogens and all that. So
You're living in New York. I mean, just to ground this in some
yeah, I was living in
thing.
Harlem at the time.
And you grew up in New York or what? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Queens and Westchester. So I was born in Manhattan. My parents were living in Queens at the time, and then my dad got a job in Westchester, north of the Bronx. So we lived there for some time. I ended up spending a year in Ivory Coast with my mom, who was working there at the time in Abidjan, and then went back in New York, commuting to Manhattan for school, for high school. For that reason, New York does feel like a sense of home. One of them.
Where does it feel like home for you then? Like that's a
Where
sense of
where
home.
where where does it feel like home?
Yeah.
The redwood forests and bamboo forests and Haiti in
Hmm.
a coastal town called Jacmel, which feels creatively, culturally, artistically, ancestrally just really activating for me. Yeah, I feel most home in some of those spaces. And then when amongst, it sound cliche and they say home is where the heart is. Like when I'm with my people, I feel home. When I'm with my family, I feel home. When I'm with with my partner and my daughter, I feel home. Yeah, but in terms of place, yeah. Shout out to
Hmm.
the forest.
Hmm.
What's that for you? Home.
Home. I only feel home when I'm with my wife and kids now. I never felt home until then. I was always looking for a home, I think,
Mm,
for sure. Um, yeah, that would be home. Like, I think I always had an inclination of what home was, and I dreamt about home. I literally, as a kid, would have dreams of like, because I grew up in a divorced household, and when I played soccer with the other kids, they all had married families, and I just imagined like, wow, what's that like? What's that like having only one kitchen where like it's
mm,
warm and cozy and the whole unit is there instead of going back and forth between two homes and two kitchens every week, and
mm,
it's cold. And I just remember that, and I think I didn't
mm.
really feel like I found home until yeah, it was till I met my wife, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is now like my home. The great thing is my home is mobile. Because it's like wherever she goes,
Like a RV.
it's like it already like come on, babe. She doesn't like to move much, but like that's what like feels like home for me. Like I sense like lineage is big and ancestors are big for you. Like you're aware with that. You're in communication with your ancestors. I think I sense. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. That feels true. That feels true. Lineage is important to me. I worry for the humans who reject lineage sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And I say that because it seems to me that just thinking about our global cultural moment for a second,
Mm-hmm.
that so many of the world's largest uh, wars and acts of structural violence, to me, seem to
Mm-hmm.
emerge from a kind of amnesia and or rejection of one's own history and resourcing. I don't like that's a very broad general statement. Like it might mean nothing. But I'm saying like I yes, it feels true that lineage and ancestry are important to me. And I'm saying I'm curious about the intertwinings or the relationship between like that type of, for lack of a better term, spiritual or ancestral attention and politics. Like I'm curious about
Mm-hmm.
the relationship between the two generally. It seems
So
that
what?
lineage is super important to you too, I would say. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Um,
No, no. I mean, I think I don't know if it's important, but it's definitely informative. And I don't
mm,
mean like I guess important in the sense that like I don't want it to define my actions going forward, but I do want to acknowledge that I couldn't be here without what they've gone through and and that part of what I carry is not my own. It's what I've been carried passed down. Many
mhm.
times, I mean, I rarely have a smoke of weed or something, but especially now that I have kids, because I do have this great fear, that paranoia that shows up. I have a real hard time not getting into survival mode and seeing all the different ways that I have to protect myself and my family. So I try to I stay away from that, and especially now that I have kids, I don't want to get high at all because on weed, that is, because like the risks are so much higher now with kids. And like, okay, so
Mm,
but I do have, can't remember the last time I felt it, but I remember that I was like, oh, this is not my own fear.
hmm.
Like, this is not my own. This comes from generations of survival. So in that sense, I know that informs me, but it doesn't like necessarily inform me in terms of the actions I will take in the future. The ones at least I'm conscientious about.
I get that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think part of my yeah, my sensitivity or my curiosity is about yeah, some of the ways less than consciously we may carry um patterns or traumas or frozen energy or information in our bones or our blood, or that less than consciously keep us um in a place of suffering. And simultaneously there are lots of blessings. So I feel you. I would love for people to be aware of the blessings that they're carrying ancestrally,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for sure. Just with regards to your point about offering
Right.
and gifting.
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know how like only when I got in touch with some Maori elders and spent time with them did I really realize how valuable it is to know about, or really realizing how little I knew about my past.
Mm.
You basically only just know your grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have some kind of story that you tell yourself or that you have in the family about the thing. But that's what it is. That's where it ends. And
Mm.
then in some indigenous cultures, that connection to the past and the history is much deeper and much more profound and much more alive, right?
For those, myself included, that feel an absence of that type of like conscious awareness of
Mm-hmm.
ancestral like presence or name or blood, like whatnot, like names, like in the absence of some of that, at the very least, I hope I can maintain an attitude of openness to the mystery, openness to the possibility that there is resource available when I feel under resourced. Like there is, like, to put it just like plainly, like there, cats have my back. Like I feel supported. I'm not always aware of it. Even in my darkest moments, somehow like something comes through, and it sounds so cliche, but I feel there feels to be something there. So I want to stay open. I invite others to stay open to like the mystery of the unseen and what's the beyond. Like when it comes to ancestral relations.
Tell me about a time that you really felt that. Can you
Hmm.
describe to me a time that you really felt that in your like, and you had that understanding, like, oh wait, no, okay, yes, this is real for me. I know this to be true for me.
Hmm.
I should invest more in my relationship to my ancestors, my lineage, or what, or however we'd say it. Like, what was a turning point realization experience that you had in your life that deepened your understanding of your relationship to ancestry or lineage or
Hmm.
resourcing that they have your back? How do you know that they have your back?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is also a conscious choice, and so like it's a type of like knowing that isn't like traditionally like rational or intellectual or anything like that. Um, but what keeps coming up is a recent ancestor or someone in process of ancestralization, maybe, or some, and that is my late brother. So when Anne uh, passed away, um, and I had an experience about a year afterwards, so a year ago, um, in a meditation, experiencing like a reunion with him, like just seeing him
Mm-hmm.
um, and just feeling the joy of the elation of just like, oh my God, like I've been waiting for this moment to be able to hug again. And
Mm.
um, and then seeing him just transform, like just in the visual field, like just transform from like a human figure to a bird and to a tree and then to a star and then like just part of the network and web of infinite stars. I was like, wow, like he's one with the spirit of creation. Like he's just like, and oh shit, like so am I. And
Mm. This is in a dream.
I would call it a vision. Like it was a meditative vision.
Uh-huh.
So I was in a meditative state and this vision came. Yeah, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. Like I'm down for that. That's cool. Like I don't understand any of that. I'm not alone, never will be. He's like an aspect of the nature of reality that is incomprehensible and is designed to be incomprehensible, I would say. And that also feels reassuring. That also feels resourceful. It's just like, wow, I just got a surge of energy from something I don't understand. And so that cultivates a sense of trust too, um, or knowing, to use your word.
3 nights ago, I had a dream of a very good friend of mine, Adam Sumner, who was one of the best ADs in Hollywood. He's a good friend of mine, and he died in Thanksgiving, which is almost a year ago, 10 months ago. And for the second time, he appeared in my dream 3 nights ago, and we were on set, and he was so happy doing what he loved. He was so fucking happy working, which is true in real life, in the physical plane. And I remember in the dream telling myself, I got to call Carmen, his wife, who is widow, and just tell her that I saw Adam in a dream and how happy he was doing his work, even in heaven or wherever he was in this other plane. And obviously I cried in the dream because I hadn't seen him in a while, and it just like was happy for his happiness, knowing that I won't see him again in the physical plane. And so I'm not sure if that's a message from him or what, I don't know. But I know that sense of like seeing someone in a dream or a vision and feeling the sense of, that's what comes up for me, the sense of closeness, and there's a sense of like a fulfilling echo. Like it's not just an echo that you hear that brushes across you, but it's like an echo that comes and braces your heart, and tells you that even though they're physically gone, they live on, and they were and they're things that really made them happy, maybe. Or like, I'm okay, like that's what comes up. I mean,
That's so beautiful.
that's what comes up for me.
Yeah. And
I mean,
embrace it's really poetic.
If I look at Didier, what are the pieces? What are the experiential pieces that have built the Didier now, today? What are the things that you experienced that like have built the Didier of today?
When I was in college, I went to a Jesuit university, Boston College, and spent a lot of time in my dorm room. I didn't feel like I belonged there. That was my experience. I felt different to the degree that like my story was no one gets me and I don't belong here often. And so I spent most of my time with headphones on. And my homies Orpheus and Segnon gave me a CD that had a beat making program on it called Fruity Loops, also known as FL Studio for the producer heads out there. And I was 18, and that fucking rocked my world, bro. Like it changed everything, because I found a language of the heart. I found a way to express myself. I found a way to actually articulate what I was feeling and experiencing, because words continually and to this day fail me. And so to find a means of actually like channeling, expressing, releasing, feeling like the vitality that pulses through these veins, it's just like, yo, I'm a musician, and I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I'm a vocalist, percussionist, I'm a producer, composer, and it is a language that supersedes, precedes, transcends all others for me. I also find myself drawn to colors. So I enjoy like making mosaics. That's like the latest thing. Like I call it like mosaic study time. Like she's drawing on the couch. So that's what she's doing. And I'm, doing my best not to react to that.
Like 2 years old drawing on the couch.
Yeah. So my 2-year-old draws on the couch. It's not awesome. It's not awesome because the couch is white. It's not awesome. Anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying a new couch yet. Anyways, I'm talking about a current creative like picture of my life, an aspect of it, a slice of it that echoes warmly, embracely from like something that has shaped a huge part of who I am, which is my like musical formation. The last thing I'll say about that right now is both my brothers, I have two older. One of them I mentioned transition from the physical. They both were DJs in college and exposed me to so many things that just shaped a sense of self. My pops was a huge music lover, just like vinyl collection off the charts, CD collection off the charts, and my mom as well. So, everyone loves music. And I grew up with a lot of like shaping through it.
Wait. You shaping it, the music shaped you?
The music shaped me. The like witnessing people curating music shaped me. My brother used to beatbox me to sleep.
Really?
I would
When you
beatbox
were
me to sleep when I was like 6 or 7 or something like that, maybe. I mean, lullabies are cool, but like, beatbox,
wow.
you know,
Hey, have
we-
you beatboxed a to sleep?
I sure have.
You
I
have?
sing my ass off, and you ever have this experience where like when you're holding your child and you're about to put them to sleep, and it's, you just feel these things, you feel like I feel talking about like, how do I know that ancestors got my back? Like I don't. I'm like knowing. I don't know what is knowing, um, but I do feel information flowing through me when I'm holding
Mm,
my daughter right before I put her to sleep.
mm,
Where are these
mm,
songs coming from? Where are these melodies coming
mm,
from? Like I didn't
mm,
consciously choose the melody I'm singing right now. It's just
mm,
happening,
mm.
and that happens often.
Wow.
Such, and then she requests it. I'm like a jukebox. I'm like a pre-sleep jukebox because she's just like, let's do this one now. I'm just like, word. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Wow. Is that what comes up for me then when you say that is like, it's almost like your past is speaking to you from the future because is also in your genes and she's like the tip of the wave in front of you, harking back to the past that's behind you and asking you to bring it forward, which then goes in its future. So it's like, right? Because she's got that same thing too. Wow. Right?
Man, that right there, you just hit it. Yeah, that's what it feels like. For some
Wow.
time, I would describe it as a kind of, the expression, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And some traditions, they talk about this, like in a West African, I think this is a Ghanaian context, but so many of our cultures have it. This notion of Sankofa, like going back to fetch it. You go back to fetch it. You go back,
Hmm.
retrieve it, so you know where you're
What's
going.
the word? What's the word?
Sankofa.
Sankofa. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's traditionally like what we might call today like a Ghanaian term word, and it's universal, like I believe. And so I would talk about Sankofic sight for years. I was like, what's like a Sankofic sight? Like, what's a way of seeing this in this very way, like life? But like what you're talking about, the way
Wow.
like what my daughter does, what the children can do, like and activate in us, it is multisensory. It is like it's very mysterious, and it's pretty fucking awesome.
What strikes me now is like when you said I'm a musician, I'm an artist, that felt different than you said the first stuff about design and coaching. And I know they're both important to you, but the energy you feel when, and then you added at the end of when you said you did, and I like to bring music into it.
Hmm.
And now you said I'm a music and artist, like the illumination I'm getting now that I never had before was like, no, no, no. This guy is at heart in the center, the core, in the the core of the bone. Like what's that? The marrow of the bone is music. I mean, when you say you're into colors, that's also music. Like Sapphire, my brother, the musician, he sees music as colors, right? I mean, he hears music, he closes his eyes, he just sees colors. So there's a connection there between, and so are you in the marrow music? And I'm sure there's even the marrow of music, like this inside of that. But are you like a musician or are you music that then has found a way to bring that service to a different sector? It's like, I mean, you could be a musician playing in bands and creating spaces and doing sound healing, right? You could be doing that. You've done sound healing before. I know you have. At least that's my impression. Like, fully capable. But you've taken it to another level in another format or another medium, if you will. But the marrow is music. And then my question would be: A, does that resonate? And B, if that's the case, like what's even the marrow of music? Because it's in your family. It's probably in your lineage.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Thank you for that. There's a teacher, brother, friend of mine named Tony Moss who, when holding like ceremonial, like prayerful spaces, often gives acknowledgement to the mystic poets of human history. that have stewarded traditions of supporting people's capacity to heal and spreading medicine and just creating conditions for the beauty that emerges when we're healthy and whole, and the mystic poets of our time and our people. Like I relate to her. Something about me like identifies with the notion of mystic poetry or being a mystic poet. Like um and the medium might be music, the medium might be calligraphy, the medium might be like retreat facilitation.
Mm-hmm.
Where I go, art happens. Like where
Mm.
I go, beauty emerges. Is what I strive for in a way. And I'd say like the marrow of music is related to that. Like the marrow of music is is as cliche as it is, the nature of harmony and beauty, like what those things are, and the soul's longing to unite with it through ourselves and with each other. That was a beautiful question. And I appreciate you asking, like, what's the marrow of music? But like, that's what comes up for me when you
Yeah.
say, is my marrow music? I'm saying yes, and,
Yeah.
That's really beautiful
And,
metaphor. No, I was just going to return the question to you because I'm curious of your response. But in terms of like
which is what? What's
marrow,
the
like
what?
what would you say is the marrow of like your soul's offering?
I think. Well, fuck. It's hard when you get thrown back the same fucking question. You're like, oh yeah, that's fucking hard.
You just asked me that question, bro. Yeah, it's
But
amazing.
yeah, right. But maybe it's like not even about. Maybe now I'm realizing, like, you know what? Maybe it's not even about like dropping the dope answer. Maybe it's just feeling for the answer that's present now. And so the
Yeah.
answer that's present now for me is like, I just go back to the. I think just best analogy is like crew rowing, which
Hmm.
I only did one semester when I was studied at Oxford. I did crew once because I was like, okay, I might as well try this. You know, it's like the cliche thing to do at Oxford and whatever. And I was like, I hate waking up early, but fuck it, let's do this.
Hmm.
Holy shit, I loved it. And I loved it because you don't see anyone else how they're rowing, but you're doing your best in the faith that everyone else is doing their best, and you're doing in the same rhythm, and you
Hmm.
can feel it when the boat is in the same rhythm. It's like all the oars, boom, they come out at the same time. And I was like, oh, I love this. I think I love the teamwork,
Hmm.
you know, and it's not the fact that humans are working together. It's the feeling you get when you work together. And I like, it's humanity. It's that shared humanity. I think that's what I love. I love
Hmm.
the witnessing of humanity, which sometimes happens in an and conversation, or as
Hmm.
a viewer, you're watching and you see them. And I think that's like the marrow. Like, I think there's like, this deep desire for that like mutual acknowledgement so that we're not lonely. I think life is basically a ocean of loneliness with bouts of connection. Like we're just souls that were ultimately come alone, we leave alone. And like I was very lonely. I was lonely a lot. I'm lonely a lot, but not less so now because I found my home and my wife and 2 kids. But a lot of my life is loneliness and finding that moment of real connection when you're like a shared moment or something, a shared endeavor. It's not about like getting it done. It's that emotional sharing that happens because we're endeavoring to do it together. And there's something about that I love. And that to me may be the marrow. But what's interesting, if that's the marrow, the bone that surrounds that marrow is loneliness.
Hmm.
You know, there's something there. I think
Hmm.
that's also why I hold my closest friends to very high standards,
Hmm.
super high. And I think I hold my wife to super high standards. And unfortunately, I probably hold my children to very high standards. And
Hmm.
because it's like, wait, aren't we in this together? Like, how come we're not showing, where's the total commitment to showing up and like, what's really important? Because it's this experience is lonely. We're going to appear
Hmm.
and go and die and that's it. And then like, it's those moments of like, bomb, like mutual witnessing and reflection, because that in which we can see ourselves and feel ourselves because our echo comes back and you're reminded of living that's there's something in there. I'm not sure. I'm articulate. I'm not, but that's where I'm feeling. That's what comes up for me.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, I'll be pondering this notion of like the bone is loneliness, because that struck me. I was just
For
like,
me, for me,
yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
and I was simultaneously like hearing you and like seeing you like having
Yeah.
that experience, and I was just checking like, do I relate to that experience? Is something I'm just like looking at.
Hmm.
Man,
It's interesting. You said earlier, you're like, I'm not great at articulating. You alluded to like not great with words like you do in music, and I get it, but I love your use of words. And I've seen your use of words when you've planned it out, like on socials, for instance, when you do your calligraphy, which I love. I've seen you weave words together live, impromptu, that are just fucking epic. And they also, it sounds musical too, not just poetic. It doesn't just, but the tone. I'm speaking specifically at Grace one time at the retreat that I hosted and that you joined so beautifully, like in 2019. There was a reflection you gave that was just like, holy shit. How did he just do that? How did he and it's like, how did he just do that? How did he just not only totally hammer home this beautiful distinction, powerful distinction, but he did it so eloquently and with such beautiful words. And third thing, it almost sounded like he was singing. The fuck did he do that? So
wow,
are you realize you do that?
wow,
You do that, right?
bro, not in the way that you're saying that. Like you're like the way you're saying it feels feels very encouraging. Like I feel encouraged. It feels like I want to inspire other people. I want to have people feel, yeah, inspired by this gift of life, and yeah, and I want to create beauty, and so I just appreciate you reflecting that. That means my intentions are being met with regards to that, at least. um,
It's interesting. When I hear that, I want to create beauty. Then it sounds to me like there's a short circuit there. There's like a gap between where you are and what you want to do. Because
hmm,
I see when I see your post, when I read Dopeness Dictionary, when I look at that, I'm like, that is beauty. And you say, I want to create beauty. Is like, well, you are. So where's the want? Like, what's the gap that you haven't done so far, or what's going on there?
yeah, great. Thank you. Like, because this opens up conversations about like legacy, about the things that uh we still want to create that have been created from the mountain
Mm-hmm.
range view perspective, and like we're
Mm-hmm.
catching up.
Yeah.
So, and I'll address your other question because I think it's a really beautiful one. But before putting my 2-year-old to sleep and feeling these inspiring like songs coming and impressions coming, also stories coming. Like my daughter was born before we expected her to be born, and spent 51 days in the NICU, where she was receiving care from a team of angels. Um, Shout out to the nurses at Cedar
Mm-hmm.
Sinai in Los Angeles. And one day, seeing a number of these babies in these isolates, in these transparent containers receiving care, um, I just got this impression of a story about fireflies that are like trapped in jars. You ever catch fireflies as a
Mm-hmm.
kid?
Mm-hmm.
And just a story about um, like that impulse to capture beauty, that impulse to like capture.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that I feel compelled to disrupt, or not, or just like reframe, or just like provoke, because everything glows actually.
Mm.
And so the children's book Everything Glows
Mm-hmm.
is yeah, is like something I'm like, it's coming back alive to me right now. Thank you for catching that. Like the I want comes from the creations that are in process. And the truth is I am beauty. You are beauty. I am art. You are art. Like, thanks for catching that. It's an opportunity to share more.
The idea like everything glows, everything blow, and us to have an opportunity to create a narrative, to give meaning something. It's just another way of reframing it, right? And maybe we do that for our kids as a kid's book, but really we're doing it for ourselves because we need it. And fuck, you talk about, and I know you're very aware. I mean, you bring it up in your questionnaire. You brought it up today, like the context of the globally, politically, socially, global context. Fuck, I feel like we need a new fucking story. We need a new story. We need a new story because the story now is that these algorithms are polarizing us, and we're all have our confirmation bias, and we are just being fed the things that are shaping our opinions that tell us there is no humanity out there. We're the only ones that are right.
It's very concerning. And yeah, like a lot of people, I sometimes feel very sad. I often feel very sad for the state of our world, for humanity, for the world that our children are
Mm.
inheriting. And it's easy to get lost in that. It's easy for me to like just feel immobilized by that sadness and grief and so I might be naive, but I also tend to be like I feel sensitive to opportunity, and I'm hopeful. I tend to be an optimistic person. I tend to think that way. I'm kind of wired that way. So yeah, we can steward that, like whatever shreds of imagination is available to us. Like let us use it to create new stories, new images, new visions of the worlds that we want to inhabit. I'm with it, man. Let's do that. Let's do that.
What do you find for you to be the hardest thing in doing that?
Like a dance between uh like my willingness to dream about another world that's possible, about the world I want my kids, like my willingness, my capacity to dream, and the discipline required to bring that dream to life with how I conduct my days. So that space between dream and discipline is like conscious practice. And when I get seduced by distraction or doom scrolling on my phone or like just not going to sleep at a reasonable hour, like throws everything off, you know? So it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's very cliche too, but yeah, but I do find that that's definitely a challenge. But I'm with you. Like I just like everybody else, like these algorithms will not win. And no, even though it feels like they are or they will or whatnot, and like just in terms of the
Well, that's what I mean by like new story. Because right now the story is winning is the algorithm story, which is fear and fury. Because
exactly.
the financial model is built up on our attention economy, and fear and furies gets 7 times more attention than love. So that's the story that's winning now. It's like we got a new story. We got to create a new story that then drives our mindset, that opens up our perceptions, like
yeah. And a lot of people are not necessarily choosing a different story, like they're choosing fun, just to go with the F, like a little like they're not okay, they don't want fear, they don't want fury, they're choosing fun, and so it's just entertainment, like and okay, like that's cool. I'm also interested.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, please go. Sorry.
Well, yeah, and like that also maybe what I'm curious about is because of the nature of our attention economy, as you put it, is like entertainment or play, forms of play that like activate vision and a commitment to own my agency and choicefulness and to give my gifts to the world. Like how about entertainment that does that? Like what is that? Where are the cartoons? Where are the films? Where's the music that like sure it feels good, like I'll dance, like well, I'm having fun, like because well, like why not, why can't it be fun? Like why can't visionary work be fun? Why can't creating the
Mm-hmm.
whatever. What do we call it? The new Earth? Like whatever. Like why can't it be? So
Right.
maybe that's a curiosity I have.
You know
So
that Sapphire told me, I don't know where he got it from. My brother told me that, I don't know where he got it from, but he's like, no. They've done research, blah, 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 blah. The opposite of fear is not love. It's play.
whoo!
I was like, whoa. And that makes me think of what you're saying, like fun, play. Like the old story is fear. The story that dominates now is fear. But where's the play? Where's the fun?
Yeah, and the fun that enables like
Right. Then enable
our
some, not just for the sake of numbing. Because that's
yeah,
what
I
I
mean
was jumping in
not
before. I felt like fun is numbing instead of fun is inspiring and creates agency, which is what you said. Maybe that's the question. That's your question. That's what I'm hearing in your question.
yeah, man. Yeah. Fun that activates agency. Like there's a what's his name? Like there's a philosopher from the University of Utah, C.T. Nguyen, I think his name is. And he talks a lot about games as agency, like games as being uh like important mediums because they actually are designed to like invite people to inhabit a role, which is an act
Mm.
of inhabiting a certain agency, like within the constraints, within like the arbitrary creative constraints of a particular game, be it Monopoly or whatever. Like, and so I dig that. I think there's something to that. And so that's where some of the like my interest in game design is coming from, is like different playful approaches to inviting people into their agency, even after the so-called game ends, knowing that the game never ends, like never ends.
Right. Right. Yeah. To me, it's just a translation of what you do when you say you go on YouTube to watch other creators who are creating. Less about the finished product as much as about the process. And generally, when you're creating, it's a process of fun. It's a process of exploration, fun, of testing, and like, oh, okay, no, yes, oh, wow, look at that. And so, and that leaves you more inspired and gives you more agency. That's why I know we're not doing a bad Olympics, but while I'm going in doom and gloom, you're watching the YouTube stuff, getting inspired. And even though you might be tired the next day, you're still inspired by what you saw.
Yo, it is
And so therefore you're making it now in your games and in your work.
yes, thank you. I'm getting excited by the reminder you're sharing that like it is my job to stay inspired. It is your job to stay inspired. Like
Mm,
that is our responsibility as humans,
mm,
as
mm.
people who've been given the gift of creation and creativity. Like wherever it's at, like I want to widen my aperture. So thanks for that reminder. What is being asked of me right now, and how am I fully showing up to it? Really resonates with me as a really
Mm,
powerful enabling question. Um, feels like
mm,
it is a question about responsibility because it invites me to like consider what I've been given and like, yeah,
mm.
how am I stewarding my power?
But tell me right now, you said like, how am I stewarding my power? Can we double click on that? And can you
Sure.
take me into that world for you right now? Like, what is going on for you right now on your journey
Mhm.
what are you seeing about you in terms of stewarding your power? Because I see that too. I sense that I know, I think I see you're like, maybe because I'm a director and I see the frame, then I see the thing and then like, oh, okay, if I frame it this way, that's where the thing comes out the best. So I see you and I don't know, saying I know you, but what I see of you, I'm like, holy, that thing's powerful and amazing and so impactful. Just needs the right frame. So like,
Everyone needs
where
to,
are you at?
yeah. So I felt compelled to say like, um, that's a good friend.
Hmm,
You're a good friend, Topaz.
hmm,
I'm getting emotional saying that. I feel like that's what I want to be, that kind of friend to those I love. You know, like those who, and it's so precious to experience that from someone. Like there's something there. You may not even see what's there. How can I support you to be your best?
hmm,
I don't take that lightly, man. So just thank you for that. But just this morning, I was on a walk with my daughter and dog, and was thinking about different places from which I navigate the world, and how, like, depending on where I'm coming from, like I show up differently. So um my mind has some patterning such that I tend to seek out new opportunities and be very enthusiastic about what's available in life. And it's the part of me that enables vision to some extent, like the visionary in me,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one way I relate to things. And sometimes like I'm going there because I'm actually just avoiding my own pain.
Mm.
Um, there also is a part of me that uh, like is driven by an interest in being of service to other people and loving on other people and being of service. And sometimes less than consciously that comes from a need to be liked and appreciated. And then there's another part of me that um is driven to um like continually foster connection amongst those around me and to just facilitate peace and harmony and beauty um and that facilitator, peacemaker, like mediator in me that's like that acts it out like with all my being. And sometimes that comes from like a fear of conflict and an avoidance of a fear of disconnection because loneliness is the worst, like that story. So like there are different parts of me, like we all got, and I'm not on some like internal family systems. Like there's so many different languages that talk about multiplicity of human. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about or tending to like the multiplicities in me that I've been less than conscious of, how they operate. I want to be aware. I'm learning about the parts of me that I'm not always conscious of that are running the show without me
Mm.
realizing. And I'm working on and interested in um, just being choiceful and just considering like where am I coming from? Your question, what's being asked of me right now and how am I fully showing up to it? Like a related question is yeah, with regards to how am I fully showing up to it, the how am I stewarding my power question is like, where is my behavior coming from? It's, like given all the different motivations I have that are egoic, like I get to choose motivations that are co-creative, that are beautiful, yes, and like I'm not trying to villainize or pathologize like the child in me that still longs for connection or whatever. But I want to be conscious. I'm working on being conscious. We're all working on being conscious. So maybe stay conscious. That's part of what I mean by how are you stewarding your power.
But are you getting bogged down by asking that question too much? Like, when you say that, I'm kind of surprised because you seem like a very conscientious, aware human, and I know that's also part of your work is bringing greater awareness to the people that you work with, so that they can fully embody themselves and the dynamic in their group with the organization or the business that they're in. And so, and not to say that like the thing that you need most for yourself is what you offer others, for sure. I think that's true of a lot of
Mm,
people. Like,
mm.
you know, um, the thing you might be great at is the thing you want most. That happens for sure. The reason I want to go into it is because I want to ask you some direct questions. I think you're an amazing wordsmith. I think you have an amazing presence, very unique presence. I don't know where it's rooted. I assume it's rooted in your name, Didier, the way you say it, the Haitian lineage and your ancestors. Like, there's a number of things that have cultivated this human being that is operating in front of that I'm speaking to now. How do you know, and how do we know who is listening that it's like real and sincere? This could be seen as a really good act. Like, this guy's just too nice. He's too fluent in these beautiful words. And there is a thing of like spiritual fufu, spiritual materialism, spiritual like big words, and everyone talks about it. But like, where does the rubber meet the road, and how do people really show up? What's your response to that? Where it's like, no, this guy's just too polished. This is not what he's like. I find it hard to believe that you're always like that, but I'm pretty sure you are because I've known you for, I don't know, 8 years now, 9 years, maybe 10. I don't know, 9, 10.
Yeah, man. No, thank you. This is great. But
No, I'm just saying like this guy's like Buddha.
oh
This guy's an
oh
elevated cat. This guy's an
nah
elevated cat.
nah.
Okay.
So just to your question. So I mean, I don't believe I'm more elevated than others.
Sure.
I I do my best to uh, be who I am, and I think it's a really beautiful, generous question to ask. Like, how do you know that you're being sincere? How do you know that you're being who you are? How do you know that? And yeah, I mean, I think that's such a great question, because I can say to you, like, please let me know if you're experiencing this, what I'm about to say. And if you're not experiencing it, like, just check in with me. So, yeah, like if I feel, if I'm having fun with how I'm like interacting or like engaging with someone, if I'm having fun, it's sincere. If I don't seem to be having fun, it's worth asking the question, "Hey, what's going on with you, bro?" Like, um,
Mm.
if that doesn't mean that you're having fun. Like, I might be having fun and other people aren't, but I might still be sincere. Not at other people's expense, but you know what I'm saying. And then let me see if I can come up with like one or two other things. Like, it's such a really beautiful question. If I answer something really quickly, like if you ask me a question, I answer right away. Maybe it's worth checking in if I'm 100% sincere. Like, go again. Like, what else? Ask me what else when I answer a question, and then the second or third or fifth thing that I say will probably be more sincere than the first thing I said. So I do feel equipped. Like my improvisational gifts, which you carry, like my improvisational gifts are such that like I know how to get by and navigate most situations. I'm
Yeah.
pretty adaptable.
Yeah.
And I think what your question is, like, it's so beautiful because it says, like, how do you know that you're being your fullest sincere truth and not just being a chameleon, or not just like adapting to the situation because that's your survival defense strategy.
Right.
So I mean, those are the first things that come up.
Which is interesting because when you're interviewed, you said that, like, growing up, you grew up in a household where you're not supposed to, if I heard correctly, like, really say what you were being. And so you developed this emotional intelligence of navigating that. That's what I understood from the podcast yesterday. Something along those lines, that like you expressing your true self and you fully showing up and expressing it in your needs, and that was not in your upbringing. Matter of fact, it was pushed. It was kind of like you had to find your way to that. Is that right? Am I not saying
Yeah,
that
I
right?
wouldn't even say that I had an awareness or language for needs, and the notion of having an awareness of one's needs as a child.
Yeah.
I don't think I had that. I mean, maybe other kids do, maybe most kids do. I don't know, but like I certainly didn't. And I think what you may have heard, or what feels true to me now, is that I the way in which I was shaped and raised was to respond to my environment in a way that maintains a sense of peace and stability. And that was more important than tending to what's going on inside me, like, and being aware of it. That doesn't mean that I wasn't loved, of course. No, I mean, I know you're not saying like I never said that. That doesn't feel true to me. But creating energetic and emotional like stability around me was felt required of me. And so, yeah, like that's shaped a whole lot of who I am, including like what I do for work.
Exactly. Which is what I like. I'm not sure if you said in this podcast earlier, but you said in the other one that I listened to, which was like something along the lines of helping people be their true selves to express what comes from their true selves. Something along, you didn't say it like that, but it's something along, that's what I took in. How do you say that? What do you do?
Yeah,
You help them find themselves?
I forgot where I came across this like quote. There are these quotes we come across that just like just stir the soul, stir the heart. It was something like, become a beacon of your truest nature and inspire others to do the same, or something like that. And I think it's not that dissimilar from like the quote you shared at the top that like frames like this podcast. Like, I'm with it. It's the same jam.
But you do that work for others. But what was the experience in your life that shaped you and you brought you the realization of you being the beacon of yourself? What was the first thing that cracked the nut around, or the shell around, who you're supposed to be, or you discovering the beacon of yourself? When did the light of the lighthouse of your soul start to shine through the crack? And you're like, oh, okay, that's I'm gonna open this crack more.
I don't remember if, I mean, I think I shared a little bit about my experience, but first, like, fellowship experience I had after college quarter. So I shared something about that. But the reason why I go back there is because that trainer that I had, Gertie O'Leary, she was so generous with mirroring how she experienced other people. And when she said to me, you have a capacity, she actually ended up saying this to everybody, but she said it to me one on one. I was like, oh, I'm special, right? And so
Right.
she said, you have a capacity to mobilize others, to hold space for others, and to like, there's a visionary, an enthusiastic visionary leader in you that can hear the songs beneath people's words, that can draw out the genius in others, that can, activate spaces for learn. Like, she gave me a reflection that I never heard before. And it made me feel like, oh, I have a gift. I have a gift. I don't recall like experiences. I'm not saying like I've never gotten, people haven't told me that I have skills, but there's something specific about a gift distinctly, like something that's been given to you that's meant to be given, something that is like powerful and needed in the world.
She reflected that back to you.
Mm-hmm. That
How
did
old were
something
you?
to me. 23.
Uh-huh. And was there a moment when you said, holy shit, she was right?
When she said it, I immediately was just like, she's right.
Uh-huh.
And then
Just internally, you knew it. It was a gut feeling.
it felt resonant. It felt resonant.
Well, I guess the thing is that it sounds like, in this case, it was a profound moment of a reflection by someone you trusted as a mentor who reflected back, and their reflection back resonated deeply, and in some way, a part of you had felt seen by their reflection, and therefore you started feeding that part of you that had been seen.
I
And
decided
that's
it's true. Yeah.
yeah. And from that 23-year-old, you then started cracking that light open of that gift and cultivating that gift to offer
Not
others.
consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to sleep in some words. Like, I ended up pursuing, like, I had a stint in the corporate world where I like got some good skills. I did some work. I was at Deloitte for a few years. I got, and also chasing ideas of who I thought I was supposed to be based on other programming still. And so, yeah, there were other experiences where I'm still like returning back, cracking open, leaving, forgetting. Like, it feels like like, at least in my life, like it's been like a dance between waking and sleeping, and there's no like, there hasn't been like a consistent like wakefulness necessarily.
When do you know when you're sleeping? And then what do you do to wake back up?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is like, what does it feel like to be alive? Like, what is the feeling of aliveness? Like, well, how does one know one is alive? and uh, we have all these like films and stories targeted towards younger people, but they're for all of us, about joy and the spark and all these things. So, yeah, I mean, that feels true to me. Like, when I am really enjoying how I'm spending my energy, how I'm giving my energy and spending my time, like, I'm actually experiencing a sense of joy. That's a good sign. It doesn't feel complicated yet. It's so elusive for so many of us, and for me, like, if I'm not thinking about why I'm pursuing a certain project, or why I'm like, and I'm feeling drained, like when I feel drained of energy, or I feel like I'm losing energy or losing power, um, but like, that's a sign, but I'm not always
Right.
aware of it.
Until you start losing enough energy that something turns on and goes up? Or
Yeah,
what
until
happens?
I feel that there's like an intuitive beacon also at work and at play. I don't know, like, there really is much of a,
Mm-hmm.
like people talk about formulas or frameworks to live a life of alignment. You do this, you that. It's your gifts plus your skills plus your like resources and opportunities equals like an aligned, fulfilled life. Like maybe, I don't relate to it that formulaically.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm becoming less formulaic in general in terms of like how to live. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying more attention to like what is it, like a kind of energetic nudge that like I'm I'm on the right path. And it's actually more so I don't think I'm ever on the right path or on the wrong path. I don't think people are ever necessarily on the wrong path. They might not just be managing the paths effectively, or just um but yeah, what I'm trying to say is like I don't know if anything more sophisticated or like meaningful or
Yeah.
sincere to say on this than like intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a satisfactory answer for most people, but
Yeah.
there's something
But then
there.
how that no, that's really good because I think it's a good question, and I think for me, if I were to answer that question, I'd be like, well, it's because I probably bump into something I don't like, whether it's a
Mm,
depression or
mm,
whether it's like a
mm.
relationship that I don't like, or it's a job I don't like, or it's I'm hanging out with people I don't like, it's like some type of pain,
Mhm.
right? And the pain could be low energy, the pain could be depression, the pain could be unhappiness, right? Um, because I'm
Yeah.
like you, I think also like I hit it and come in and out of that flow. And sometimes it could be 2-3 years of that flow. That's why for me, I personally like every 2 years, at least I have to do something challenging. I have to
Mm.
do a 10-day silent retreat. I have to do, some type of medicine journey, or I have to do Hoffman, or I have to do something, some kind of experience to just at least every 2 years, if not every year, something to rattle it up to just keep me like checking myself and checking so
That's
wondering, I
great.
mean, I wonder, like, how is your work that, like, showing people if they're waking up or not? Not your work. I'd say your gift.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say, like, what you're saying about pain as a catalyst for waking, that really resonates with me. It really
Mm.
resonates. And the part of me that has certain tendencies of avoiding pain, I have them. Like, I have some really good strategies to avoid pain, to avoid, I know we all do, but like they're really effective for me, including like the optimist in me or the part of me that just like
Mm.
pursues um that pursues joy, pursues like things that feel good, activities, conversations, like networking, just visioning, entrepreneurial endeavors, like all those things, sometimes overworking, like all those things are ways that I have a really useful strategy for avoiding pain. So it resonates with me. Um and your question, how how is all this related to like my gift for others, or how, like, yeah, I find that when I'm with others, I'm like I'm giving explicit attention to the deepest longings in front of the person, like inside the person I'm interacting with, like their deepest longings explicitly, like almost hunting it,
Mm.
and then creating space and activation and language and provocation and challenge and reflection and all of that that draws forth the deepest longings inside. I mean, people can do that on their own. Like we all can contemplate, like, what am I complaining about in my life right now, and what are like the deep longings that those complaints articulate, or express. Um, yeah, but I'm with others. That's, in a way, that's like the big starting point. And then what's happening? Like what's happening right now? That's generating the sense of longing. And then what's the space in between? Like what
Mm.
dances, what experiments, what spirit of experimentation is being called from you to bridge the space between your current reality and your deepest longings. Another word for that is also vision, but like the longings inspire vision.
So the vision is not the place you get to. The vision is the thing that draws you across the bridge from your longings to where you desire to be, or the fulfillment of those longings.
Yeah, like visioning feels like a embodied practice, like not a static statement. or like a static
Mm-hmm.
vision board or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is
Mm-hmm.
a embodied practice continually,
Mm-hmm.
and that is part of the gift that I bring. But I think one thing that makes it distinct is like the visionary inside the people I work with. My job is to call that visionary forth, and in a
Mm-hmm.
way that like deepest dreams are being birthed in the world
Mm-hmm.
to mend this world, to serve this world, to like heal this world.
Mm-hmm.
So
What comes up for me from what you're sharing now, because we talked about like how you wake up, how do you know when you're sleeping, and then how do you wake up, and then juxtaposing that along the work that you do for others and cultivating your own gift that you offer others. What comes up for me is the idea that right now in this conversation is like, oh, right, wait a second. We need each other. We can't do it alone.
exactly.
And it reminds me of this allegory where it was like, okay, Didier, you live in a small town where there's only 2 dentists. Okay, one dentist has dirty, fucked up teeth, and the other dentist has great teeth. Which dentist are you going to go to? Do you know which one to go to?
um, if that's the only data that's presented to me, and I'm not
Yeah, and it's a
allowed,
small town. There's no other dentist, and they
there's no
can't
other
work on
dentist.
themselves. And they
Yeah.
can't work on themselves. Okay, just so you know, they can't work on themselves.
Say that again. The last part.
They can't work on themselves. It's not like they can do their own cavity work, and they can,
Right. They
like
need a
can do them.
dentist. They need a dentist.
They need someone else.
Yeah.
One has got fucked up teeth, and one's got great teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea,
the reason why I'm resisting choosing the one with I'm resisting choosing the one with good teeth, and so I'm just like curious about that. Not only because it's maybe for some like an obvious choice. Like one story is choose the person that's fucked up. It's not obvious. It's not obvious.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I would choose the person with fucked up teeth is because they're just giving their all to serve. Like they're just they care so much about other people. They leave nothing for themselves, which is a separate conversation.
Right.
But maybe I trust you because of how selfless you are. The reason I go with the other is because I have evidence that you can do for me what you've done for yourself.
Okay.
But I don't like, that's not.
So I need to present the question differently, because basically the answer in this rhyme would be you go with the doctor with fucked up teeth. And the reason is because he did such a great job on the other dentist. and the other dentist who's got great teeth did a fucked up job on the one who's got fucked up teeth.
That's such a
because they have to work on each other.
That makes so much sense. That's so good.
And so how much in our society are we going to the places with like great teeth, but that's because they're getting worked on by people who are not getting reciprocal love or tender or cared for or whatever. And kind of like you said, so it just makes me think of like, we're all connected.
You said reciprocal. That's such a good word. Like maybe part of me feels a bit of sensitivity for those of us on this planet that give of themselves in a way where they're not experiencing reciprocity.
Well, I mean, it's all, look at your lineage. Haiti.
You probably could say the same thing I'm saying right now. Like, not just because of anti-Semitism, like, but because of the lack of political education and like and like amnesia, like in so many different directions around the world. Like we don't have coherent narratives that we share as a people.
Right. Well, it's interesting because I think there's a lot of overlay in our work. It's probably one reason why we like each other, but also one reason why we want to collaborate. You know, there's like, or it's like for me such a pleasure to like listen to you and like hear how you articulate a vision that resonates deeply within me, even though we carry different lineages.
Yeah, man.
You know, and it's not, I'm not saying they're exactly the same. I'm just saying like there's a lot of resonance there.
Yeah.
We're going to end with a question from the self deck.
Yeah. Yes. Let's do it.
I'm going to flick through them and you're going to tell me when to stop, and that'll be your question. Are you ready?
Okay. Stop.
Can you read it out?
Yeah. Pull it back a little bit. When was the last time I told myself how great I am? That's very sweet.
That's the question you took. Okay. When was the last time you told yourself how great you are? I don't think you tell yourself how great you are at all. I suspect you don't, unless you have a practice.
I was hanging out with my niece and my nephew last weekend. My nephew just started college out here in LA. And then his older sister, my niece, came down from Northern California, and we hung out on the weekend. And there was just like this epic culminating moment where we created a game together. And the game it's like a version of Taboo, where you just get other people to say a particular word without saying the thing, but all in freestyle rhyme. And it was amazing. It was so epic. And I finished leaving that feeling like just a sense of greatness. One, because it was honoring of my late brother's legacy, like very much like that was just love language, you know. But also just forging a multi-generational like space of like beauty, you know. And we were great, you know. But I sense greatness just in participating and being present and connecting like across this generational line, you know, with the shared love and language and passion that just felt so free and pure, and it was great. So thanks for the question. Bueno.
I love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Love you too. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you for joining me in this conversation. I hope it had some utility. I hope it offered a reflection of what maybe life is shaping you for, and maybe it offered a missing piece to the puzzle of your life. It was a pleasure for me, and I appreciate your time and attention. Please subscribe to our channel so that you can stay abreast of all the new episodes we have coming out. And until next time, thank you so much. Guts is a Skin Deep media production. The show is produced by Gonzalo Torres Ocampo, edited by Sofia Requeri, with editorial support from Anthony Cabral, and executive produced by me, Topaz Adizes. Special thanks to all the guests who showed guts, without whom there would be no getting under the skin. Interested in joining our community and following this journey? Visit guts.podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and theskindeep.com for in-depth conversation card games that create the space for connection, intimacy, and deeper conversation. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, keep having the guts to get under the skin.